At 67 years old, I thought I'd seen enough of life to know when something was off. I'd raised 3 kids, buried a wife, survived a heart attack at 59 that the doctors said should have killed me. I knew the difference between kindness and performance. So when my grandson Tyler showed up at my door on a Tuesday morning with a gift-wrapped box and a smile that didn't quite reach his eyes, something in my gut twisted. "Happy early birthday, Grandpa," he said, stepping into my living room without waiting for an invitation. He'd never done that before. I live alone now, in the same house in suburban Phoenix where I raised my kids. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, paid off 15 years ago. My daughter Emma lives in Seattle with her family. My son Marcus is in Chicago. And Tyler, my oldest grandson, 28 years old, lives 20 minutes away but visits maybe twice a year. Christmas and Thanksgiving, if I'm lucky. This was April. "My birthday's not for 2 weeks," I said, closing the door. "I know, but I saw this and thought of you." He handed me the box. "You've been talking about getting more active. This'll help." Inside was a smartwatch. Not just any smartwatch, one of those fancy ones that tracks everything. Heart rate, sleep patterns, steps, blood oxygen levels. The box showed a sleek, black device with a bright display. "Tyler, this is too expensive." "It's fine. I got a deal through work." He worked in sales for a medical supply company. Or at least, that's what he'd told me. "Here, let me help you set it up." He pulled the watch from the box and started pairing it with my phone. His fingers moved fast, too fast. He typed in passwords I didn't give him, downloaded an app, enabled permissions without asking. "Tyler, slow down. I need to understand what this does." "It's easy, Grandpa. See? It tracks your heart rate, shows you if you're getting enough exercise, monitors your sleep, and the best part," he tapped the screen, "it has fall detection. If you fall and can't get up, it automatically calls emergency services." My daughter had been after me to get something like this. Ever since my heart attack, she worried. Called me 3 times a week to check in. But this felt different. "There's also a family sharing feature," Tyler continued. "I set it up so I can check on you. You know, make sure you're okay." Mom would want that. Emma would want that. But Emma lived 2,000 miles away. Tyler lived 20 minutes away and hadn't visited in 6 months. "I appreciate it, Tyler, really. But I can set up my own." "Already done," he smiled. That same smile that didn't reach his eyes. "Just wear it, for me, for Mom." He left 10 minutes later, and I stood in my living room holding this watch, feeling something I couldn't name. I put it on. For 3 days, everything seemed normal. The watch tracked my morning walks, showed me I slept poorly, which I already knew, reminded me to stand up every hour, which was annoying but probably good for me. Then on Friday, my neighbor Bill knocked on my door. Bill's retired too. Former engineer, sharp as they come. We play chess every Thursday, and he usually wins. "Robert," he said, standing on my porch with a concerned look, "I need to show you something." He pulled out his phone and opened an app. "My daughter got me one of these watches last month. Great device. But yesterday, I was messing around with the settings and found something weird." He showed me the companion app. Under privacy settings, there was a section called data sharing. When he clicked it, a list appeared of everyone who had access to his health data. "See this? My daughter can see my heart rate, my location, my sleep data, all of it." I didn't know I'd agreed to that. My stomach dropped. "Check yours," Bill said. I pulled out my phone, opened the app Tyler had installed, went to settings, privacy, data sharing. Tyler's name was there, with permissions I didn't remember granting. But it wasn't just basic health data. The permissions list was extensive. Real-time heart rate, blood oxygen levels, GPS location, sleep stages, activity levels, fall detection alerts, ECG readings, and something called predictive health events. "What's predictive health events?" I asked Bill. He frowned. "I don't have that on mine. That sounds like a premium medical monitoring feature. Those usually require a doctor's authorization." I clicked on it. A description appeared. "This feature uses AI to analyze your health patterns and predict potential cardiac events before they occur. Alerts are sent to designated emergency contacts." Tyler had designated himself as my emergency contact. I should have called him right then. Should have asked him why he needed real-time access to my heart rhythms. But something Bill said earlier stuck with me. I didn't know I'd agreed to that. Neither did I. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about Tyler's visit, the way he'd rushed through the setup, the way he'd typed in passwords without asking, the way he'd left so quickly. I thought about the last time I'd seen him before this week, Christmas. He'd asked about my will. Just curious, Grandpa. You know, for planning purposes. If anything happened to you, who would get the house? I'd told him the truth. My estate was divided equally between Emma and Marcus. The house would be sold, and they'd split the proceeds. But there was also my life insurance policy, $300,000. The beneficiary was Tyler. I'd set it up years ago when he was in college. Wanted to make sure he'd be taken care of if something happened to me. Wanted to give him a head start on life that I never had. I'd forgotten about it until that Christmas conversation. And now, he was monitoring my heart. At 67, with a history of cardiac issues, I knew the statistics. Another heart attack wasn't a question of if, but when. My cardiologist had been clear. Manage stress, take medications, watch my diet, exercise moderately. But what if someone knew exactly when my heart was most vulnerable? I sat up in bed, looked at the watch on my wrist. The green light on the back pulsed against my skin, measuring my heart rate every second. I took it off. The next morning, I drove to the Apple store. Told the kid at the Genius Bar I needed help understanding my watch's privacy settings. He was maybe 22, with a name tag that said Brandon and the kind of patience that made me feel both grateful and ancient. Okay, so this is interesting, Brandon said, scrolling through the app on my phone. This isn't the standard health sharing feature. Someone installed a third-party monitoring app that integrates with your watch. What does that mean? It means whoever set this up can see way more than just your step count. They can see real-time vitals. They can set up alerts for specific health events. And he clicked deeper into the settings. They can access your historical data. Every heartbeat you've had since you started wearing this watch. Can they see where I am right now? Yes. GPS is enabled. They can track your location down to about 10 feet. My chest tightened. Can you remove it? The app? I can, but... Brandon hesitated. Sir, if someone set this up without your full consent, that's a privacy violation. Depending on the circumstances, it might even be illegal. Especially if they're monitoring someone with health issues for financial gain. What do you mean, financial gain? Brandon shifted uncomfortably. There have been cases. Adult children monitoring elderly parents with heart conditions, waiting for opportunities. He didn't finish the sentence. He didn't have to. Don't remove it yet, I said. I needed to think. I drove to my daughter's favorite coffee shop, the one where we used to meet when she still lived here. Ordered a black coffee and sat by the window, watching people walk by, trying to make sense of what I knew. Tyler had given me a watch that monitored my heart in real time. He could see when my heart rate spiked, when it dropped, when I was stressed or calm or sleeping or active. He could track my location. And he was the beneficiary of a $300,000 life insurance policy. But Tyler wasn't a murderer. He was my grandson. I'd watched him grow up, taught him to ride a bike, helped him with homework. He was a good kid, except I hadn't really seen him in years. Not the real him. Just the version that showed up twice a year with a polite smile and generic conversation. I pulled out my phone, opened Facebook, found Tyler's profile, which I rarely checked because I barely understood Facebook. His recent posts were strange. Nothing personal. Just reshares of articles about cryptocurrency investments, get-rich-quick schemes, motivational quotes about wealth. His profile picture showed him in front of a new BMW. A BMW, on a medical supply salesman's salary. I scrolled back further. 6 months ago, posts about tough times and making changes. 4 months ago, nothing. 3 months ago, posts started again, with the wealth focus. Something had happened. I called my daughter Emma. Dad, is everything okay? She always assumed something was wrong when I called outside our scheduled times. I'm fine. I wanted to ask you about Tyler. A pause. What about him? He gave me a smartwatch. For my birthday. Said you'd want me to have it. Another pause. Longer this time. Dad, I didn't ask him to do that. I've been meaning to talk to you about Tyler, actually. My heart rate picked up. The watch on my wrist buzzed. I looked down. Elevated heart rate detected. Relax and breathe deeply. Talk to me about what? Emma sighed. He called me last month. Asked if I knew the details of your will. Wanted to know about your assets, the house, insurance. I told him it wasn't his business. He got angry. Said some things about how he's the only grandchild who stayed local, who checked on you, and he deserved to know. He doesn't check on me. I know, Dad. That's what I told him. We had a fight. I haven't talked to him since. The watch buzzed again. Heart rate 112 BPM. Consider resting. Dad, are you okay? Your voice sounds strange. I looked at the watch, at the green light measuring every beat of my damaged heart. Emma, I need to tell you something. But first, I need you to not panic. I told her everything. The watch, the permissions, the monitoring app, the life insurance policy. She was quiet for a long time. Dad, take off the watch. Right now. Not yet. If I take it off, he'll know I'm suspicious. So what? Let him know. We're changing that beneficiary today. I'm calling a lawyer. This is elder abuse, Dad. Financial exploitation. Maybe. But I don't have proof he's planning anything. Just a watch with permissions I didn't fully understand. Dad, give me a few days. Let me figure out what's really happening. Promise me you'll be careful. I promise. But I wasn't sure what careful meant anymore. That night, I did something I'm not proud of. I went through Tyler's Instagram, his Twitter, everything I could find. I'm not good with social media, but I learned 3 months ago he'd posted a photo at a casino in Vegas. 2 months ago, a screenshot of a stock trading app showing significant losses. 1 month ago, a deleted post I found in Google Cache about desperate times calling for desperate measures. And then, 2 weeks ago, right before he gave me the watch, a post about new opportunities and playing the long game. I sat in my dark living room, my heart pounding, the watch measuring every beat, and I made a decision. I called my old friend Richard. We'd served together in Vietnam 40 years ago. He went on to become a private investigator before retiring. If anyone could help me, it was Richard. We met at a diner the next morning. Bobby, he said. Using the nickname no one but old army buddies called me. This is some heavy stuff. Can you help? I can. But you need to understand what you're asking. If this kid is planning what you think he's planning, documenting it could put you in danger. I'm already in danger. I just need to know the truth. Richard nodded. Okay. Here's what we do. Keep wearing the watch. Act normal. I'll run a deep background check on Tyler, financial records, legal issues, everything, and I'll set you up with some equipment. Equipment? Hidden cameras. Audio recording. You're going to document every interaction with him from now on. If he makes a move or says something incriminating, we'll have it. 3 days later, I had a camera hidden in my living room bookshelf, another in my kitchen, a voice-activated recorder in my pocket, and I invited Tyler over for dinner. He arrived on time, which was unusual. Brought flowers, which he'd never done before. Grandpa, you look good. How are you feeling? Fine. The watch is helpful. Thanks again. I saw him glance at my wrist, checking, making sure I was wearing it. We sat down to eat. Pot roast, his supposed favorite, though I couldn't remember the last time we'd eaten together. How's work? I asked. Good. Really good, actually. I'm up for a promotion. That's great. Doing well financially? He hesitated. Just a fraction of a second. Yeah, can't complain. Good. I worry sometimes. You know, about you kids and money. It's tough out there. It is, but I'm managing. He ate quietly for a moment, then said, Actually, Grandpa, I wanted to talk to you about something. Here it comes, I thought. The recorder in my pocket was running. I've been thinking about the future. Your future. You're getting older. And with your heart condition. He paused, put down his fork. Have you thought about what happens if you have another incident? I think about it every day. And the house? This big place. It's a lot for one person. Have you considered moving into assisted living? Somewhere with medical staff on site? Not really. I like it here. I know. But if something happened, if you fell or had another heart attack. I checked the watch data, and your heart rate is elevated a lot, especially at night. That's concerning. You checked my data? Yeah. That's what the family sharing is for, so I can make sure you're okay. The way he said it. So reasonable, so concerned. If I didn't know better, I'd believe him. I appreciate that, Tyler, really. But I'm fine, for now. But we should plan. If you sold this house, moved somewhere safer, you'd have money for better care. And, you could update your will, make sure everything's organized. There it was. My will is fine. Is it? When's the last time you looked at it? Things change. People change. He met my eyes. I'm just saying. I'm here, close by. If anything happened, I'd take care of everything. Unlike Emma and Marcus, who are halfway across the country. My heart was racing now. The watch buzzed. Tyler glanced at it. Grandpa, you're stressed. Maybe you should lie down. I'm fine. Your heart rate is 125. That's not fine. How did he know my exact heart rate? The watch display wasn't visible to him, unless he was watching it in real time on his phone. I stood up. I think you should go. What? Why? I'm trying to help you. I know what you're trying to do. His expression changed. The concerned grandson disappeared. Something colder took its place. What are you talking about? The watch. The monitoring. The life insurance policy. I know, Tyler. He stood too. Know what? That I care about you? That I'm the only one who actually checks on you? You don't check on me. You check on my vitals. There's a difference. You're being paranoid. Am I? Then why can you see my exact heart rate right now? Why did you set up medical-grade monitoring without asking me? Why are you suddenly so interested in my will? He was quiet for a long moment. Then he laughed. Actually laughed. You think I'm trying to kill you? Are you? Jesus, Grandpa, you've been watching too much TV. He grabbed his jacket. I gave you a watch, a gift, because I actually do care. But if you're going to accuse me of plotting murder, I'm done. He walked to the door, then turned back. For the record, I'm broke. Lost everything in crypto and bad investments. I'm 3 months behind on rent. I was going to ask you for help. A loan. That's why I've been coming around, trying to build up to it. But clearly, you think the worst of me. He left, and I stood in my kitchen, shaking, wondering if I'd just made a horrible mistake. But Richard called me 20 minutes later. Bobby, I got the background check. You need to hear this. Tyler wasn't just broke. He owed money to dangerous people, gambling debts, $50,000 to a loan shark in Vegas. There were documented threats. And 3 weeks ago, Tyler had taken out a second life insurance policy on me. One I didn't know about. How is that legal? I asked. It's not. He forged your signature. I have a copy of the application. Your supposed signature doesn't match your real one. What do? We go to the police. Tonight. The police took it seriously. Financial exploitation of a vulnerable adult, insurance fraud, forgery. They sent a detective to my house within an hour. Detective Sarah Morrison was maybe 40, sharp-eyed, all business. She listened to everything, looked at the watch, examined the monitoring app, reviewed the recordings I'd made. Mr. Chen, I need to be honest with you. This is all concerning, but it's not quite enough for an arrest. The watch itself isn't illegal. He could claim he had your permission. The fake insurance policy is fraud, but proving he was planning to actually harm you is harder. So what do? We need him to make a move, or confess. Would you be willing to wear a wire? I thought about Tyler, the little boy I'd taught to throw a baseball, the teenager I'd helped through his parents' divorce, the man he'd become, desperate and dangerous. Yes, I said. They set it up for 2 days later. Tyler had been calling, apologizing, asking to meet. I agreed. We met at a park, neutral ground. I wore the wire under my jacket. Tyler looked terrible, like he hadn't slept. Grandpa, I'm sorry. For everything. I've been under a lot of pressure, and I took it out on you. Tell me the truth, Tyler. All of it. He broke down. Right there on a park bench, he told me everything. The gambling, the debts, the threats from people he owed money to, the desperate searches for solutions. And then, the idea. I didn't want to hurt you, he said, crying. I just needed you to. I thought if it looked natural, a heart attack, no one would question it. You've already had one. And then the insurance would pay out. And I could fix everything. How are you going to do it? The watch. I found this guy online who could hack the algorithm. Make it so when your heart rate got to a certain level, it would send signals that confused your pacemaker. I don't have a pacemaker. He looked at me, confused. Yes, you do. From after your heart attack, Tyler, they decided against a pacemaker. I take medication instead. The color drained from his face. But Mom said, your mom was wrong, or you misunderstood. He stared at me, and I saw the moment it hit him. He'd planned to kill me using a device I didn't have. Oh my God, he whispered. I'm a monster. The police moved in. Detective Morrison had heard enough. Tyler didn't resist. He confessed to everything. The forged insurance policy, the hacked watch app, the intent. He'd been planning to trigger a cardiac event during one of my morning walks, when I was alone. Make it look like my bad heart finally gave out. He pleaded guilty to attempted murder, elder abuse, and insurance fraud. The judge gave him 12 years. My daughter Emma flew out for the sentencing. We sat in the courtroom and watched Tyler, in an orange jumpsuit, apologize to the court. To me, I don't expect forgiveness, he said. I don't deserve it. I just want Grandpa to know that I loved him. Once. Before I let money and fear turn me into someone I don't recognize. The judge wasn't moved. Neither was Emma. But I was. Not because what Tyler did was forgivable. It wasn't. He'd been ready to watch me die, to profit from my death, to sit at my funeral and collect a check. But I remembered who he used to be. And I remembered being young and stupid and desperate. I'd never been that desperate, thank God. But I understood how a person could spiral. After the sentencing, Emma wanted to go straight to the airport. She couldn't stand to be in the same city as Tyler. But I asked her to stop at a coffee shop first. I need to tell you something, I said. What? I'm changing my will. The house, the money, it's all going to you and Marcus. Split evenly. Dad, I assumed. Let me finish. But I'm also setting up a trust. For Tyler, he can't access it until he's released from prison, and only if he completes addiction counseling and financial planning courses. It's not much, $50,000. But it's enough to start over if he really wants to. Emma stared at me. Why would you do that? Because someone did it for me once. When I came back from Vietnam, I was a mess. Drinking, fighting. Your grandfather could have cut me off. Instead, he gave me a second chance, and a third, and a fourth, until I figured out how to be a person again. Tyler tried to kill you. I know. And he'll pay for that. But when he gets out, he'll be 40. Still young enough to have a life. I don't want him to come out with nothing but bitterness. Emma was quiet for a long time. Then she reached across the table and took my hand. You're a better person than me, Dad. No, just an older one. I've learned that carrying hate is heavier than carrying hope. I still think about Tyler sometimes. Wonder how he's doing. If he's using his time to actually change or just counting days. I wonder if he thinks about me, if he regrets it, if he understands what he almost did. The watch is in a drawer somewhere. I got a regular one, no monitoring features. Just tells time and counts steps. I'm more careful now. About who I trust. About what technology I invite into my life. About assuming family means safety. But I also try to be more forgiving. More understanding. Because I've learned that people make terrible choices when they're desperate. And sometimes, the difference between who we are and who we could become is just one bad decision. Tyler made his decision. He'll live with it. And I'm still here, at 67, with a bad heart and a second chance I didn't expect. I'm making it count. Where are you watching this from? And have you checked who has access to your data lately? Because the people who love us can see more than we think, and sometimes that's the most dangerous thing of all. If this story taught me anything, it's this: trust your instincts, even with family, especially with family, because blood doesn't guarantee loyalty, and technology doesn't guarantee safety. Stay careful out there, and maybe check your privacy settings tonight.